Trading post. Which does mean that me and you will get an opportunity to daddy up on the whole internet. Because you lot are all being stupid. You're degrading the meaning of words, and when we do that, we all become more stupid.
Yeah, if you keep calling the trading post a battle pass, soon you'll be calling the sky green.
Yeah.
I have a point to this. We'll get into this later.
I mean, yes, actually. Oh, boy.
Yep, this stuff is very, very interesting.
Should we go
over the post first.
Okay.
And then we'll go back down to this.
Yeah, no, this pissed me off. I mean, I just thought it was, Wowhead's normal thing of doing some connotation jiu-jitsu.
Accuracy not being their primary directive at all times.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know.
Not that accuracy is our primary directive at the time, but yes.
It's very weird. Okay, put it this way. We will go for emotionally resonant and big, but we're not going to call something not what it is. There's a specific reason why in the marketing of our videos, I did not call it a battle pass, even though everyone else was, because I thought that was legitimate clickbait.
Yeah.
There's the sort of Veritasium description of the type 1 and type 2 clickbait where, this is something that inspires curiosity and intrigue in a way that's like natural curiosity. Or, me talking about fucking hell, this is the best news to happen to World of Warcraft in 10 years. That's literally my opinion for whatever. Let's just say some title that I would use for our video on the roadmap for the game, right? I'm going to call it something that communicates my level of excitement about it, but I'm not going to call it not what it is. And I think with the battle pass, you know what, Matt, we just need to do the battle pass now. So, from what I can tell, almost everyone else in the whole of our media is guilty.
Yeah,
we're taking you all to court, every single one of you bastards.
But there is also
I'm only saying bastards semi-seriously. It's okay, we're all friends.
Yeah, that was an excellent. There's a very good reason why people call it a battle pass, and that's the point I want to get into here. It's not like everyone's being really daft and really stupid and just calling it a battle pass because they're all like low IQ. But there's something. It's the point that there is a good reason. So we will discuss that.
John has an interesting comment there. Yeah, what's really funny is they posted T&E's video where they decry it as not being a battle pass. Interesting.
Yeah.
And then in the same article, they call it a battle pass multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
Now that is very funny. I shall confess, I have not watched that video because I generally don't watch WoW content, other than Penguin, because I like being kept up on the gold making and the goblining. And automatic Jack, because I don't know how to heal.
You certainly don't.
I am manual Mike. But on this whole thing of the battle pass, then, look, words have specific meanings, and here's the thing. With everything, it's not an absolutism thing. The meaning of words changes over time, right? I mean, even take how, you might watch an old movie and someone would call something, happy and gay.
Yeah.
Which actually maybe that would be redundant.
Because
the definition of the words shift and change over time. I would choose that one because it's one that people will notice.
Yeah, what's the song that goes something, let's have a gay old time?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not what people today would imagine. That's something entirely different and not RE18 plus. But yeah.
Yeah, so the thing is, words do naturally change in their meaning, but we need to be cognizant, I think, of how, and this ties into a lot of what we were talking about earlier, the internet is putting the gas in everything. Everything's getting very fast. And it's getting faster than our ability to loop back around and ensure that we're still doing things right and accurate. Now, language is language impacts thought.
It really does.
And if we want to do this in a fun science fiction movie recommendation way, how about you try watching Arrival?
Because Arrival's actually there's under in the Wikipedia article, language as relative to thought. I can't remember what it's fully titled. There's one entry under popular culture, and it's just the SW hypothesis. And it's just that's the point of Arrival. And they're like, fuck, I haven't watched Arrival yet. Now I notice about shit.
You haven't watched Arrival?
No, I'm an idiot.
It's okay. We've got him on Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
Arrival's a fucking beautiful movie. I love it. Big Denis. Okay.
Yeah.
If the meaning of words changes in a way that's sloppy and imprecise, we literally get more stupid. Because what are those words? Those words are labels for concepts. Yeah. Now, if we are using, imagine, you've got like your Meccano and your Lego. Like the little small Lego pieces, harder to use, but people can build a crazy sculpture. So imagine if we have a word that means something specific. And that's like a little specific Lego block. And that's what it is. It's just that little thought, that little idea. Well, that's great, because whenever we use that word, we're communicating a very specific idea. And that lets us have very accurate, very good faith discussions with each other. But then what happens if we take this word, and now instead of it meaning this little Duplo, or this little Lego block, now it's a big fuzzy Duplo block, and it means fucking anything. Because we've just degraded its meaning. And because we've degraded its meaning, then it is significantly harder to have a proper discussion, because literally accuracy has went out completely out the window.
Imagine trying to communicate to your parents about video game consoles when they just call them all Nintendos. That's basically the same idea.
Kane, this is the point about the battle pass. This is the point. So no, listen up. This is the point.
Yeah.
This is why we're talking about it. So, okay, what color is the sky, Matt?
To the vast majority of people in the world and in the West, the sky is blue. When it's normally, obviously, it takes different colors. But you look up and go, the sky is blue. The ocean is usually blue as well. Mm-hmm. But that's not, people don't always say that. Historically, there's this whole thing about blue-green distinction. And I can't remember exactly which one it was, but there was, because there's the difference in different shades of blue that Russian and Greek have. But there's also, I can't remember which ones, but it was some language didn't have a word for blue. So everything they saw that we would call blue, they called green, because it was closer to green. So they would see, like, I can see that blanket behind Michael over the throw to that. They would see that and say, yeah.
Behind me.
Yeah, over the railing. So they would see that and say, that's green. Well, they might say it's black, it's not dark, but they say, it's green, because they just see it and go, well, that looks like green to me. Because they have no concept for what blue is. They've never heard the word blue. They're like, well, that's close to green. And this is, the Japanese is another version, another example of it, where they only introduced a word for green in the last 100 or so years.
Whoa.
Yeah, they had ao, which was blue. Everything was blue. They still call vegetables or ao. That's they use that in a bunch of compounds. And that's blue. It's that's not blue, it's green. Same with, I think, traffic lights are ao. But they have the word green, midori, which was added because they got the idea elsewhere.
There's another example. So I'm going to hold up these nuts. Matt, could you hold up your can of Monster?
This one?
Yeah. So, pink and blue.
Yeah.
These have shifted.
Yeah.
So pink used to be the manly color, and blue used to be the more sort of, effeminate color.
Slightly different, yeah.
It is a bit different, but it's just one of those things of...
Definitely, well, yeah. That's tradition, but it's more the... So there was one which was Russian and Greek have different versions of blue. Whereas obviously we do, say light blue, dark blue, but they had literally words for it completely differently, which I'm not going to pronounce because that'll be unreasonable. But it was more the fact that over time, they were able to basically determine different shades. But if one of them grew up somewhere that didn't have those determinations, they wouldn't be able to again. They would literally, their brain would lose the ability to go, oh, that's magenta versus, what's kind of magenta, kind of pink. It's like if we didn't have a word for magenta, you would say, oh, it's kind of like a darker pink or something. Or it's like indigo. It's like indigo is a real weird word for me. I've always thought indigo was like red, but it's blue.
What?
Yeah. But because of a botched learning when I was younger.
That's insane.
Yeah. Every indigo just means red to me.
We've all learned something new about that.
Yeah, so that's the really the crazy thing where you need language to determine what things are, because you literally need the concept in your head, because that's because we think in terms of language. We don't necessarily think in terms of language, but when we rationalize our thoughts to ourselves through language. So this is probably when you for most people have an internal voice, and that's how you have a thought and you write it down. You have to write it down in language. You might be able to draw it if you're like a visual kind of person. You're thinking about like drawing stuff, but it is like language is how you communicate. If I have an idea and I need to explain it to Michael, I will use English most of the time. Sometimes I'll make shit up. And we have a bit of a weird shared language where sometimes just make noises and understand, which is another point entirely.
In fairness, that is also language.
That is also
we're making noises that we understand right now. The other side to this that I would put in then, so we've got, words, what do they mean? How does this impact how we think? The other thing then, another way that words impact how we think is that of connotation. Because words have connotations. Battle Pass has more of a dastardly connotation, given that it is a generally monetization approach that provides additional content to a game, usually through a tiered system, rewarding a player with in-game items for completing specific challenges via linear progress through a track, where on that track you get items.
Yeah. Actually, here's the perfect example, right? If I say Battle Pass, you see a Battle Pass in your head. You see a load of squares with stuff in it, numbers underneath they go up. Like you'll envision that, right? You'll envision one of the original Battle Passes. You'll envision like the Dota 2 Battle Pass, or like Fortnite or something. Or maybe you'll think about, I guess, Overwatch. That's a Battle Pass. This is very different. So calling it a Battle Pass destroys the word Battle Pass, because it's not what you immediately think.
There's the one thing, Blizzard's one fuck up here is that they've realized that people seemingly enjoy when things are represented in a horizontal bar. So because the currency is given to you in increments along this horizontal bar, well, there you go.
It's like
you've just made it resemble a battle pass. Like, and what that means for Blizzard is
Renown is closer to a battle pass.
yeah. It's funny because then Blizzard have actually managed to via UI give themselves negative connotations. You guys won't know the amount of times that I see people say, Renown's a battle pass. And you're like, no, it's not. This is insane. They just have a UI that tells you what you can unlock when you hit levels of reputation. It's not a battle pass. Then some people are like, yeah, but you do daily tasks in the game to get points that move you across the battle pass bar, and as you move across the bar, you get rewards. It's a battle pass. And now we're at a stage where the word battle pass is almost functionally irrelevant, because you could display the Order of the Golden Lotus in MoP, or the Cloud Serpent via a horizontal bar. Would that make that a battle pass?
It now just means you can progress towards an award. A reward. That's all Battle Pass means then, which means you've diluted the meaning as opposed to having the super exactly the this is what it looks like, this is what it feels like.
Here's the superpower.
Parts of it.
You've diluted the meaning, but held on to the connotation.
Exactly, yeah.
And that's what makes it spread easier. Negativity spreads faster, and that is precisely, I think, why a whole bunch of this has happened.
Yeah, and that's the thing. The Trading Post is not a battle pass, because it's not a battle pass. Because it's not.
Your gym membership's a battle pass towards gains.
Yeah, arguably, yeah. More or less, yeah. Except a lot more expensive.
Damn, if only your bank would display your balance horizontally with savings goals, then even personal finances could become a battle pass.
Imagine if World of Warcraft had you lose rep for like all the time. That's what mine would look like.
Yeah, I mean, imagine if you got more abilities and power in game as you moved a bar from left to right.
That's a battle pass. Leveling up's a battle pass. Hello. But yeah, that's the idea. Where I think the only reason people call it a battle pass is because there's no simple term to describe what it is, and people are really sloppy with terminology.
It's a thing in a game,
and they also like the connotation. Because what this is a monthly rotating in-game shop with a monthly currency cap. That's what it is. But that's not sexy. Battle pass is 2 words.
Yes.
Battle pass fits into a tweet. Battle pass fits into a YouTube title. Battle pass fits into a headline. Monthly rotating in-game shop with a monthly currency cap does not.
Does a Boris Johnson get elected with a carefully planned out set of goals that he's going to achieve? No, he goes build back better.
Yeah, so that's this really awkward.
Like, and I'm not doing this to be an anti-whatever side. It's just like, why does everything turn into a little phrase, right? How about we start calling him Malicious Matt?
Oh,
Malicious Matt, manual Mike,
there is
automatic Jack. No.
there is not a drop of malice in my blood.
Oh, dear sweet boy. But like that, this is kind of our point, right? Like instead of being specific and only using connotation where it makes, where it makes sense and it's accurate, now in order to make things spread more, we do have a situation where, this is happening now. Now here's the thing. Everyone doing this knows exactly what they're doing. I would then challenge them to look into the comments of Wowhead posts, to look into the comments of YouTube videos, and to see the amount of people that you have genuinely misled.
Yeah.
And that is the bit that I want to call out here, because you cannot hide, and this is the thing that I'm realizing, you cannot hide behind you having a rationalization for your actions. More and more and more, as we are exerting our will, you could say exerting our influence at scale. It's maybe why, I hate the word influencer, because people tend to make it as like a positive thing. No, influencer is a mark of responsibility. It should not be a job title.
That's a weight to bear.
Yeah, it is. Influencer is a weight to bear, because you actually do have the ability to really mislead the fuck out of people. And I guess that's where I come in on the whole battle pass thing. The reason, like the second that they call it a battle pass, so many comments are like, yeah, they're just going to monetize this more. They're going to start selling the currency.
And there is literally
no evidence for that.
There's no reason to believe that. Outside of the one tenuous link being that they are willing to put store mounts on the battle pass. Sorry, the battle pass, the trading post. See, even I fucking did it, because we're just talking about battle pass. They put trading mounts in the store mounts in the trading post. Jesus Christ. Then people can go, oh, well, they expect the money to not have from that sale to be made back. But then you would say it's made back through sub revenue from playing the game, because it's a sub retention mechanic, because they want you to play the fucking game.
I mean, fuck, at least Lion Ted was more accurate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Be gone. Be a horrible period of time. You see what we mean, though? Like, now there's just a bunch of people who are misled, who are just being like, oh, great, they put this in so they can just really monetize the fuck out of it in 3 months. Fucking Blizzard, fucking hate them, fucking scum. And I'm like, that hasn't happened yet. It literally hasn't happened yet.
It literally hasn't happened, and there's a little... I mean, right, so... If it looked more like a battle pass, and I could see that, maybe... It's weird. It's all about... it's about vibes. I can't imagine them selling the currency on the store, because everyone would go, what the fuck are you doing?
No, that
would be insane.
They have a store.
Yeah. Like that...
If they sell currency above the cap, then the whole thing breaks as like a feature for players.
That's the thing to keep in mind. Like that will fall apart as soon as you buy stuff, and I can't imagine it'll work. Like,
why can't it just be an example of a good battle pass? Because it's a rotating store. It's not a battle pass.
Yeah,
like that's the thing. Our problem is that definition of battle pass really doesn't fit this well.
Also, like the fact that it has a monthly currency cap is also like different to a battle pass, because a battle pass would be you unlock it all through playing all the time.
Yeah,
it is profoundly different from battle pass, and like being able to understand that and look at the definition of what a battle pass is and go, how is this, when broken down to not the simplest language, but like all of its parts laid out in language, because battle pass is shorthand for about 7 or 8 different things and different ideas.
About 70 to 80 hours of grind.
Yeah, so it's like you then...
This is not 70 to 80 hours of grind in any way. This thing's shit easy to complete.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, and there you go, you've got things like, but there is an item at the end and you can't earn the currency you miss. Yeah, so that is a similarity to a battle pass. That does not make it a battle pass. It's literally a case of like subsets and sets mathematically, where it's like it's not the same, it's a part of it. It's like a banana skin is not a banana. A banana skin is a banana skin. Without the banana inside, it's not a banana.
Yeah.
Like that's the part that it's, you can have loads of like similarities and not be the same thing. It's just the penchant for shorthand in the highly engaging Twitter universe and YouTube universe that we live in. It means that, because everyone loves shorthand and loves bringing things down.
Everyone who has a take on Twitter, do you know what needs to happen? Government agents need to come in, make them do a computer science degree so they can learn how to think.
Yeah,
that's a little bit elitist of me, kind of saying that as a joke. But even the way you just you immediately have the mental toolkit to deal with that when you can talk about sets and subsets.
Yeah.
And we have to realize then, as unfortunately influencers, that not everybody has that useful mental toolkit of even just like what you just said there about sets and subsets.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't even have said banana skin banana. I should have said a banana is not an apple. They're both fruit, but a banana's not an apple. It's just a similar thing.
Yeah, but I think it's like and this is something the world's probably really exacerbating. Instead of thinking like you just did, we now live in a time of emotional reaction, and everything is designed to get emotional reaction out of everybody absolutely all the time. And that means that the logical faculties, they are not useful. Being right is not useful. I mean, how many times do you see like some crazy viral tweet like that goes completely humongous, and you look at it like, this does not pass my basic "is this reasonable" filter. Let me look into it, and it's wrong as fuck.
Yeah.
But it was emotionally engaging, and now there you go. Fucking 500,000 people are very misinformed, and that's the way a cookie crumbles. And it's a problem. It's not good. It literally makes us all stupid, dumb, and angry. And guess who wants us to be stupid, dumb, and angry? People who control us, such as governments.
Most people.
People who want to make money out of us, such as companies.
God, he's really
and people who want to, use us, influencers.
Yep.
Actually, be careful of influencers. I mean, even look at the... look at the poll.
Yeah.
Look at the poll shit. CoffeeZilla's, been fucking laying the smack down. That's just a great example of, wow, you're fucking evil.
Mm-hmm.
But again, that's influence that, emotion first.
Yeah.
Scam everybody.
There's no better thing than to be independent and thinking, doing your own thing instead of having other people do it for you, which includes everyone. Because everyone, the only person whose incentives completely match your own are you. So be careful of those whose incentives are against yours directly, and try to align yourself with people whose incentives are close but not the same. More or less. It's very, very good. Yeah, it's very good. That wow kind of went a little bit hard.
What did?
Just this conversation. That's good.
I mean, a bit, yeah, but also...
Yeah.
I mean...
it's important.
We need to be able to take the example and then walk the example back to a first principle that we can then discuss, because the first principle is like... it's like I don't want to say it's like the logical law of physics of the situation we're dealing with, but the way it's like, yeah, Planck length's a Planck length. It is what it is. It's like some of the breaking it down to first principles is what helps us to understand what's actually happening, free from the noise, so that we can then move forward and sort of like apply that in our daily lives.
Yeah, I think, I think language is so super important to that in so many ways, because it's how we think. It's there's a line from scroll down somewhere. There's like the TED Talk there, which I literally listened to today on recommendation of a friend. But it's how language shapes the way we think. And there's a couple different examples, but one is like there's this Aboriginal group that doesn't use left and right. Every time they have a direction, it's based on cardinal.
That's so insane.
It's absolute.
Can you imagine how good they would be at like?
They are extremely good, because when they meet someone, the first thing they do is they tell them which way they're going. So like they won't be like, alright, how's it going? They'll go, I'm heading north by northeast. And then the person will be like, I'm heading west. And they'll just go there.
Can you imagine like that degree of knowing where you are and where you're going?
Because and this is the thing, because they constantly talk about it, because they have the framework in their head, they are amazing at knowing which direction they're facing. They will just be able, they'll be able to feel it, right? They'll be able to actually just feel, oh yeah, well, I'm based on the sun, based on the time of day, based on whatever else, they'll know.
Now, if we can just get them, as John said, playing like Sea of Thieves or PUBG, they'd be fucking unstoppable.
Yeah. Yeah. So the thing is, but that isn't just how they consider that. That also completely reorients how they think about the world, because they were asked to they and some people from like Western society were asked to. It was I think it was pictures of a man at different stages of life. I think it's like 5 pictures, and they're asked to lay them out in order. And people like most of us would go left hand side, youngest, increment, oldest, because we write that way.
Yeah.
Our passage of time, our passage of consideration is from our left to our right. For people who write different directions, say like the Japanese are like down and right, they'll go that way. They'll go like forward and then back. For people who write backwards, I think it's like some Arabic stuff's written right to left. I think some other things they will go youngest, oldest. But for most, it's oriented around yourself because that's how you write. That's how you perceive time. For these people, they perceive everything in the absolute cardinals. So no matter what way they were facing, and they tried this without explaining to them, they just had them sit in different chairs. They always organized it from east to west. They
like
always
actual east to west.
Actual east. They put the youngest at actual east and the oldest at actual west every time, no matter what way they were facing. And that was this fucking amazing idea of they don't experience time relative to themselves. They experience it relative to the world's position. Whereas we're like, oh yeah, time for us is either to the right or forward, because that's, we walk forward. To them, it's the sun moves from east to west, so that's how time goes.
This is one of the reasons why I love science fiction, especially science fiction that's really, like making an alien that's truly alien, or a culture that's like truly completely different from what we're used to. Because just as this proves, it cracks open another way of thinking that makes you like, because like you can obviously empathize deeply with these people because they are, of course, Homo sapiens just like us, but they have such, I assume then, such a radically different way of seeing the world. You're like, wow, imagine being in that person's skin. That would be incredible. That would be a totally different way of feeling about things.
Yep. That's because of their culture and their language, because that's how they speak. And the way it's summed up by Lair Bordisky Gives a Talk is the human race, by creating language, has created 7,000 different cognitive universes because it entirely frames everything. And there's some like bilingual people who say like, I think there's some quote where it's like knowing a second language is like having a second soul.
Yeah.
Because you think in entirely different ways. And I think of this a lot because I'm such a fucking shameless weeb, and I love Japanese song lyrics because of how like abstract they are and how, I guess, less connected they often are, where it is just, here's just reams and reams of concepts. And you can see how that translates to a lot of the writing and creativity, where it's less layered and it's just more, here's, you think back from, the idea of hieroglyphs and like kanji, as opposed to like loads of different words. Or like it's a lot more conceptual and abstract. Like, that's more interesting, or it's differently interesting to other things. And it's all just language, which basically means to stop using shorthand like Battle Pass. Say what it is. It's a rotating shop with monthly currency cap.
Yeah. I mean, imagine if everyone started to use the AI as their digital assistant, but then the AI was slowly nudging things in a direction. And this is basically the plot of Westworld Season 3. Honestly, Westworld, kind of piece of shit after Season 2. Season 2, obviously a bit rumbly. But the idea in Season 3, of the big AI box is like quite fun, especially now that, that it's very in vogue, I guess. And it's like, you don't even know, we don't even appreciate how us thinking in the way that we do impacts who we are and how we feel, because it's our complete normal. So in a world, right, where, to take one example, in a world where your default words are the message, go woke up, broke, blah, blah, all of those things, then you're going to see that absolutely everywhere you could possibly see it. And undoubtedly, in some cases, you'll be accurate, but also there'll be other cases where you won't be accurate. But the thing that's led you astray is not engaging with the ideas and first principles, but in, the kind of like the meme taking over and impacting then how you think. So it's like so many things, they exist in the feedback loop. And I guess we just always need to be very careful of the cognitive feedback loops that are deployed on us. Because, look how many people like 8 years ago were like super far left, and then they went super far right, and now they're super far left again, or super far right again. And it's like, are we really that malleable? How many of the things do we think that we actually think? And you're like, whoa, spooky.
I have had that profoundly over the last year, where you break like one thought pattern, you break like one mental pattern of what you think is like immutable in terms of like a little bit of like what's personality versus what's brain chemistry, and you start to like you change your diet, suddenly you're thinking differently, and you're like, wait, hang on. Oh yeah, the brain's just loaded chemistry.
Yeah, you know, the people who are like, yeah, my life was shit, I started taking some magnesium.
Yeah.
You're like, hang on, why does magnesium have so much power over me?
Yeah, yeah. It's because it's all a series of extremely complicated biological and chemical processes. But you're substantially more malleable than you think you are, because that's just how the human body works. It's completely insane to think that way, where you can just feel differently, and that's, I mean, what was it? It was about 2/3 of the way into Symphogear Season 1. There's an amazing quote where a character's having a tough time and they are alone. They go get some pancakes and they're like really depressed and upset. But obviously, because it's a pancake shop and like they go there regularly, the person who owns it knows them and is old, so they're wise. And they just serve them some food and go, if you think when you're hungry, you'll only have bad thoughts or you'll only have bad ideas. And I resonate with that extremely well, because it's the same idea as you're not you when you're hungry, have a Snickers.
Oh my God.
That is actually true. It is actually true, because you've got the ghrelin, the hunger hormone, is pumping through you at an unreasonable rate. It's your behavior is evolutionarily changing to be more aggressive to go get food because you're hungry or you'll die. So you're a different person when you're hungry.
That is the computer is the bicycle of the mind tier piece of marketing.
Yeah.
I retroactively appreciate you a lot more, Snickers.